Hello, David. Thank you for joining us this morning. I'm Rebecca Middleton. I'm the founder of Hereditary Brain Aneurysm Support. We're a not-for-profit organisation here to support patients and their families who believe they have hereditary brain aneurysms running in their families. We started Hereditary Brain Aneurysm Support this year. It's been a fantastic year for us as we launched the charity and started building partnerships and started to build the community as well. So I'm here with David this morning to take a look back on 2022, but also to look forward to 2023 and everything that we have planned for the next 12 months. Thank you for joining us, David.
Hi, how you doing? Yeah, I just wanted, we officially launched HBA Support back in September, but I was interested to ask you kind of this time last year, 12 months ago, kind of you had all these ambitions, but nothing had quite happened yet. So what was on the horizon for you 12 months ago, really, Rebecca?
I suppose 12 months ago, I was in a place where the idea for hereditary brain aneurysm support had been, if you like, around in my head for a number of years, as my journey started a number of years ago with the loss of my mother. And I went to go and look for information about hereditary brain aneurysms and just found a wall of misinformation or inaccessible information, and I wanted to put that picture right. So this idea had been going around in my head for a number of years, and I joined Beacon Rare Disease Mentor Program, around about 12 months ago, and that really was the kickstart that I needed to get this idea off the ground, and really turn it into what it is today. We're still very much at the start of that journey, but it is great to be here. And then, David, you came on board in May, and that was fantastic. That really unlocked us turning all these ideas and having all these discussions into something, to actually creating a website, to actually creating plans, and also our research, which has been fantastic and certainly been one of the highlights for me this year. What's been your highlight, David?
I think, you mentioned different partners, and there's been so many people just tapping into both peer support from the rare community. So you mentioned Beacon, Genetic Alliance, Gene People, Neurological Alliance, Genomics England, loads BA Found over in the States as well. They've been fantastic, and Camera as well. So it's just been really nice just knowing that there's a whole network out there that are supporting us in our journey, and are really interested in finding out more about familial brain aneurysms. And I think for me, it's kind of, and again, just meeting sort of people affected other than yourself, Rebecca, and speaking to them and finding out more about the condition and how it's impacted on their lives and their families as well.
And I think the key to starting those conversations has been the TLR, so our targeted literature piece of research that we did, and that was fantastic. That piece of research really unlocked the door to many organisations, and also ensured that when we started having these conversations, that they understood that we understood the situation, that we understood the context, the prevalence, the incidence, but also what the genetic factors were. Because up until that point, as a patient, as a family, going to look for all that information, you have to go and look at hundreds and hundreds of different websites and journals and peer review journals. Whereas now what we have done with that TLR, which we also launched this year in September, was to bring all of that information together, so it was accessible for the patient community, but also clinicians and researchers, and that's also been fantastic. We've had some amazing feedback from that, and people who are now actually using it in clinic. They're geneticists who are sharing it with their networks. It's been shared around Great Ormond Street Hospital. It's been shared with different genetic networks as well, and that's fantastic. That's been a real positive for us, that we can demonstrate that we've had an immediate impact, and hopefully that will help inform how those patients are cared about, or even just so they have that information to hand as well. So that's really been fantastic. But as you say, David, what's been really great is to connect with other patients. Another reason for setting up Hereditary Brain Aneurysm Support is I felt alone. I felt that there was no organisation for me, no support group for me. There was some really good, and there still is some really fantastic groups on Facebook and Facebook communities, but none that specifically looked at the hereditary side of brain aneurysms. But I knew I wasn't alone, because I'd read all the research. I knew about all of these thousands of families in the UK and beyond, and globally too. So connecting with some of them, learning about their stories, learning about their journeys has been fantastic. And even more fantastic is that some of them have agreed to come on this journey with us, and are going to be part of our patient panel as well, which is one of our priorities for 2023.
Yeah, I was going to ask what's next. What we doing next?
Yeah, absolutely. 2023, it's a fantastic foundation that we have built here in 2022. September was amazing, but our mission very much is to connect with patients, build a community, and connect with clinicians. But everything that we do, we're a not-for-profit organisation. We want to be led by families, by patients. So we very much want to continue to build our patient panel. And get those stories in, and understand what their priorities are, understand how people would like to be communicated with through this journey, what pieces of information they want as they learn about this, and how to start conversations with their families also about this. And then we are also trying to build our expert panel, so try and get scientists on board, researchers on board, clinical geneticists on board, who can also help us to identify those doors to open, if you like, which doors to push, and build those partnerships. So once we understand what we want the change to be, we can then hopefully influence and make that happen. So getting other patients on board is going to be key, and getting those experts on board is also going to be key, and raising up, this is known as a silent disease, isn't it? So we want to give this silent disease a voice, a strong, connected voice. So that's going to be critical for us. What about you, David? What's your priority for next year?
I think it's similar. I think for me it's sort of finding more people affected, and just having conversations with them, and finding out more about how it's affected them. And I think, going back to how we operate, we very much want to be a kind of platform for their voice. So it's building that community, building a kind of peer support network, whether it's part of the advisory panel or through our Facebook group or things like that. And then just finding out what their experience is, and then how we can bring them in with the healthcare practitioners, with the researchers, and find out how we can prevent or help people get screened faster, get the treatment that they need, ultimately save lives. That's why we're here. But it's good. It's going to start with that community, and my role and your role as well, to some extent, is just talking to them and listening to them, and then sort of finding out what's next.
Absolutely. And I think this is a great opportunity to say thank you. Thank you to everybody who has supported us so far, who has believed in us so far, who have sent us an email or a message to say thank you and well done, and shared our TLR, our research, and our website. Thank you to all those patients who have come forward and really movingly shared their stories with us as well. That we really, really do appreciate that. And we hope to continue all these very many valuable conversations going forward in 2023. So come with us on this journey, find out more, have a look at our website, take a look at our social channels as well, get in touch. David and I are friendly, please just drop us a line. We'd love to hear from you. We'd love your ideas, and we are very much looking forward to 2023.